After almost 3 years of the pandemic, how is our mental health?
Our mental health is not great in the UK. We're probably, compared to pre-pandemic levels, we have twice the level of psychological distress.
Twice?
Twice, roughly
Double.
Twice, yes. It peaked in around about March, April, May 2021, where we were around about 2.5 times higher than pre-pandemic levels.
So that's just a ridiculous response, isn't it? The way our mental health has been abused is ridiculous.
Yes, we know what's happened. There was fear-mongering on the part of media and government, which increased anxiety responses surrounding the virus. We don't know about the long-term effects of that. It could fuel obsessive-compulsive disorder, health anxiety. Then we had the lockdowns that decimated social networks, parts of the economy, and also meant that people were at home, alone, and started to engage in all sorts of unhelpful behaviors, alcohol use, gambling, gaming, etc.
So what are your thoughts on the ONS data on the cost of living and depression in Britain today?
So the ONS published some data from a period of around about a month, from the end of September until the end of October, and the staggering finding is that roughly 16% of the UK population is experiencing some form of moderate to severe depression, with particular groups very negatively affected.
Well, I mean, we all see it in our families, don't we? We see it with our children, we see it with our parents, we see it, but what can we learn from this?
We should learn never to have lockdowns again, because the human cost is enormous.
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat it loudly?
Yes, never to have lockdowns again. I don't think there is much scientific basis to have them in the first place. We didn't really have them in the past with pandemics, which were probably far more serious than the one we went through. And the importance of reconnecting socially and ensuring that people are not scared into submission, that they're educated about what's going on.
So what can people do to help themselves?
So in this moment in time, we are at the tail end of a series of events that have increased psychological distress. The biggest one now is cost of living. So there are many things we can try and do now. For me, the number one thing, the one that I help most people with, is to reestablish daily routines. To calm down, to get to a point where we're eating properly, sleeping properly, exercising. Then there is all the issue to do with personal debt, hard decisions that have to be made surrounding the money we do have available at present, looking at incomings and outgoings, being smarter with debt. It's also a period where we could look at upskilling ourselves, finding new ways of generating income. As I said earlier, reconnecting to people who are important to us in life. So a series of things. We cannot change the environment directly, but we can try and manage the best we can.
So you've also set up a website, I think, www.jaaq.org.
Yes.
What does that do?
So I haven't set it up, but I've been involved in helping set it up. It's Just Ask a Question. It's a social media mental health platform that allows people to gain access to professionals in the field, academics, researchers, and clinicians who answer 60, 70, 80, 100 standard questions you might have about mental health. It bypasses the search engines and goes directly to experts. And I think it's an invaluable resource in this moment in time.
I loved it, because I went on it and had a little kind of play, as it were. And I like the fact that it's so personable, that it feels like that person's talking to you. So, I mean, I know you say that, these 60, 100, whatever questions they are standard questions, but they feel very personable. And I think in the light of the world that we're living in at the moment, especially with what's going on within the NHS, you can't actually get anybody to talk to if you're suffering from mental health issues.
Yes.
So this is almost like someone talking to you.
Yes, it's an opportunity to have access through this platform to leading experts who will be able to answer all sorts of questions. Is depression biologically based? Do alcohol problems ever resolve? how many people suffer for body dysmorphia, etc. And you know that the quality of the information provided is of a high standard because these are some of the top specialists in the world in mental health. And there are many people with lived experience sharing their experiences too.
I just feel that we need to, every person that I've got on today, I want to leave the studio with a note of happiness and a note of joy for the people watching on GB News, because that's what we need, that's what we deserve. So what would be the one point of happiness that you told people to look for in their lives?
Yeah, so we need to return to be together, to be part of the social networks that have been essential to our history as human beings. So I would say now, reconnect as much as possible in things that you know have been forgotten or were very important. Reactivate them, be with people, maybe stay away from technology. The value that we get in terms of the boost to our mood that comes through being with people is unparalleled.